Signaling pathways to cells require receptors to pick up the message. Some receptors are on the cell surface while others are inside the cell cytoplasm. There are four major groups of cell surface receptors: receptor channel, G protein coupled receptor, receptor enzyme, and the integrin receptor. A signaling molecule binds as a ligand to each of their binding sites, activating a specific reaction. The reaction often cascades to include other proteins, amplifying the original signal from the cell surface. This cascade and amplification is important because it allows a small receptor-specific ligand to initiate a relatively large and indirect effect. For cascades, the ligand activates a protein, which then activates another protein, which activates another until the final protein is activated, or the final chemical is released. The last chemical or protein in the cascade directly creates a physiological response, usually separated from the initial ligand-receptor binding. Amplification is important here because the cascade is so much stronger and involves so much more signaling molecules than would occur if it were a 1-to-1 ratio between each step. It means that each protein, when activated, increases the strength of the signal by increasing the amount of signaling molecules released. This increases the magnitude of the body's response to the signal. Channel proteins are channel proteins that can operate or close a path through the membrane. When the channel is open, it increases the permeability of ions into or out of the cell. This creates a rapid response from the cell, often resulting in depolarization. A G protein coupled receptor spans the cell membrane. They are composed of ligand binding sites and cytoplasmic tail that binds to a G protein. G protein made of 3 parts, and when it is activated by the receptor, it begins a cascade effect. Receptor enzymes are receptors that are bound to enzymes that function inside of the cell. An example of this is protein kinases, which add phosphates to proteins to alter their function, whether to inhibit or activate. Integrin receptors are membrane-spanning proteins that are attached to the cytoskeleton of the cell through anchor proteins. Integrin receptors respond to ligands or extracellular matrix proteins, which then alter enzyme activity or the cytoskeleton. Calcium plays an important and diverse role in signaling. It can enter the cell either from outside via gated protein or by being released from the endoplasmic or sarcoplasmic reticulum for muscles. Calcium then binds to receptors in the cytoplasm with 5 main effects. Calcium alters enzyme activity, chylomodulin, a secondary messenger protein, or a transport protein. It also enables muscular contraction, cytoskeletal movement, and exocytosis, especially when a cell is depolarized. This all allows your body to work together to keep you alive and to communicate throughout the body.